Okay, hi self. Like I thought it'd be easier to record than to write at the moment, just because my brain is like a lot of places right now when I'm thinking about single parenting and six unknown childhood traumas. They are two separate. I was thinking about separate times, like how people are a single parent, because I feel like the child that I have now, I would be a single parent because it don't make sense to stay in the situation that I'm in. Even though a lot of people probably say get an abortion, even I thought about it, but it don't make sense. I can fix that if I was by myself. If I stay in this situation with the child, it's gonna, it, it's not gonna make sense. There's not gonna be growth. It's gonna be right. If that makes sense. Um, and the traumas that come from childhood is one of those reasons, though. Even with me wanting to be a single parent, it goes back into trauma that I have as into not having both parents. But it's a difference when you have a parent that's gay and they don't admit it, but that gene get connected to you, if that makes sense, because the parent didn't know who they were and deny who they are, if that makes sense. Um, what made me like really have to start recording was for the simple fact of I know there's people of the same sex that parent and they parent very well and the kids don't have a problem with it, but it's because they're open about it. It's not something that's hidden, that's when the trauma becomes trauma. So I'm not knocking same-sex parenting. It's the hiding part of it and the aspects that make it become a trauma. Because I was even thinking about the situation I'm in now when it comes to my ex is gay. He don't admit being gay, but I also have a gay son. But my son goes both ways. He's one of those ones who have a fine balance in between. Since my son is really not my ex's, is it okay for them to be sexually active since they're both gay, even though my son is super young? You know, it's one of those aspects because it's like much as I have spoken about it and told the police about it, nothing has gotten handled. It's like it's okay. And I'm losing faith in God because God is gay too. So it's just like, is there any type of what y'all call boundaries that goes with justice? Because it seems that a lot of the pain that's happening is supposed to be protected, definitely under God, because He's indivisible, but He don't actually protect because He's part of the problem. So it's becoming a contradictory. It's like nothing can get fixed when the problem is supposed to be to help. That's what I'm getting at. And how to separate it. Because even with me saying about my son and my ex, I'm not against pride, same sex. I keep saying it over and over and over. That's probably why I'm still so calm in this situation. It's the age gap and the lack of admitting to it. It's more painful because it's like what's the word I can use for this? It's like a manipulation in some. It's something you will hear that's happening in adult relationships where a guy would like beat up his spouse or something and then make it up by buying her flowers or something. It's that type of situation, but it's happening with a child. And it's just interesting that nobody else sees that or think that it's wrong. It's very intriguing. I feel like it's something else I want to say. I'm looking down. The last thing I wrote down was the unknown childhood trauma triggers. And that's the trigger. The parents not knowing who they are, but they're producing. And then it's like I want to say a genetic or gene that just keep getting carried because nobody's really admitting to it. And then a person wind up like, why am I having this side effect? It's because your roots didn't know who they were, or they weren't honest about who they were. But it's displayed in you. But as I was saying, for me, I personally feel I just gotta do more research in single parents, and honestly, I think it's like the best thing at the moment, just because of myself mentally, how I know how I operate. That right now, I'm in denialville, and it's no bueno. And then it's just like I'm trying to figure out who to turn to in the aspect, because as I said, I'm losing faith in God. Honestly, I really am. Um, God is not honest. He don't work off honesty. He does not work off of it. He doesn't. Um, why do I know that? Because I reflect him. When we communicate, what's an example I can give? I would say, where are you? Or he would say, where I'm at. He won't tell me exactly where he's at. He would metaphor where he's at, since he's always watching. But it's like, no, you're not really here with me. You try to make me think I'm crazy? You want me to think I'm crazy, huh? Intriguing. But I would tell him, like last time, I said I was in jail. Because, like, this is jail. Like, what the fooder did? Instead of saying, oh, I'm in Groveport, the last place I seen you at, you know, that's where I'm at. When you physically came, that's where I'm at. But you know that already. So why are you asking me a stupid question? I really don't know exactly where you're at, though. But you tell me you're with me. Like, it's crazy. God makes people crazy for no reason, because he lies. But I guess that's part of an ultimate sacrifice. Who knows? The best reference I can give that's more understanding is Jesus. That's the only sacrifice that's making sense. There is no abandonment in it. It comes right back. But this stand away, but just working from a Buddha aspect, you know, just a frequency, that makes people crazy. That's a trauma, for sure. That goes through childhood. That's one of another problems. What was it? Jesus dying for our sins, but comes right back. Because that's the best part about it. Fixed it, you know, we're gonna come back. Just better, you know? But when you like lack the honesty part, it messes the whole sacrifice up. And God's sacrifice don't make sense. It's slavery. It's trauma. It's backtracking for no reason. How do I know that? Because I do the same thing he does. I feel like I'm gonna have a super, like, my brain at the moment is like, I don't know, it's a lot. I'm not upset, it's just, so, it's irritating. Irritating is a good word. Because, like, nothing is moving forward because the help is the problem. That's the thing. It's like me going to court telling the judge this, and the judge is gay too. What's gonna get helped? They think that it's okay. And it's nothing against gay people, happy people. It's the whole situation in general. There's nothing okay with a 30-year-old something messing with a 10-year-old. And he wasn't even 10 at that age. He was younger than 10, which is even worse. Then we got ones that actually mess with newborn babies and stuff. And I always say that because I have to reference to that, because I know people do that. For the simple fact of guys are always saying, I love to eat vagina, you know, that's my favorite thing to do. And then you have a child, a daughter, and you got to go change her diapers, and you think they're not going to get turned on by seeing that? Ay, ay, ay. And these are the things that happen, but nobody talks about it. But it happens a lot. Like even with me, with my son, I never thought you should pay attention to the size of a baby's penis. But as soon as my baby came out, people saw some, oh my God, you got a big penis for a baby. And it's just like, what the, you're weird. Who thinks of a child penis being big and not? Like that was just weird. I never would think what size a child penis would be, you know? Like, so it's just like intriguing that people really be on that level and be doing those things. And there's no way to protect them. Because I say, the help is the problem. I think that's why it's so frustrating. It's just like, as much as this could be smooth selling, it's not smooth selling. And I just keep looking at the door. The door is just, I don't know why it's catching my dog on attention. It just is. That door, the hood's funny, a little funny. It's not for me to go out the door. It's just, sometimes when you wait for somebody for so long and they never come back to that door, and then you hear that they came back to that door and it wasn't for you, it's just like, how intriguing. But they thought that they were helping me by doing it. But it's like, in that aspect, it comes off as hurt people hurt people. That's not how that goes. That's not justice. It's backwards. Which is another delay. I can't even actually function. Pretty much, honestly. On even speaking clearly, because like my mind is just so cluttered at the moment. Like I've been trying to write this stuff down, but I keep stopping. Usually I can flow smoothly, but I just can't at the moment. It's intriguing. Very, very intriguing. And I'm honestly not sure why. I'm not sure why. Even with everything I just sat there and said, which I'm about to go back and watch because it's probably scattered because my mind is scattered at the moment. Or I know it may not be super clear at the moment. That's why I couldn't even write it down. I thought it'd be better to record so I at least can get the little things out that my mind is moving quickly about. Because I know when I'm writing it sometimes, I might write it too fast and then I miss things or something. My brain moves faster than my hand. But so I thought it'd be better this way. Definitely right now, instead of waiting until later and then I forget what it was in general. So that's why I recorded, as I said, probably 59 times already, but I just feel that need because I wanted to record. I've been enjoying my videos actually that I have made. I've learned a lot. I've been watching them. I watched them today. I was like, oh my God, that is so intriguing how life just plays out like that. But this video, I'm pretty sure is not going to be like that. It's definitely just like, oh my God, scattered. Because it's the energy. It's just all over the place. And not in a good way. It's in a way where it is just like, hold up. How is anything supposed to get done in this aspect? Because, like, who is protecting who? Like, who is protecting the kids is the question. Or, like, do the kids don't get protection? I do believe in childlike faith. You know, they naturally have guidance, but when they don't have proper guidance, like what my son is dealing with, who helps in that aspect? Like, where is the justice in that? you know, or any other child that's dealing with this and they just feel afraid to speak up. Maybe the parent is sexually active with them or some other part of, you know, it ain't gotta be the parents, it ain't always the parents, but in this situation, and a lot of times of it, I'm 1,000% sure that is the situation because it always starts within the home. And for me, I have realized and thought about it as into your spouse just might get turned on by your child because you're reflecting them. Like, your spouse already was attracted to you, so when they see you reflected in the child, they might get turned on to the child because they recognizing you in the child. Which that's a thought a lot of people don't want to think about, but it happens a lot. That's why I always speak about the situation with Don, where I understand it to an extent, because Don loves me. He loves my body. He think my body is perfecto. He can't keep his hands off of it. My son is shaped just like me. It's like a whole test of, I want to say faith, or maybe even confirmation, because I always say I'm a guy also on top of that. So it's just like, you actually get to see yourself in the form of a guy. Yeah, you actually get to see yourself in the form of a guy, and it's just like, he couldn't hinder that. He didn't have no self-control. For realize, even if my son was giving off signs, not to react in that way, to help him in a better way. You know, not to interact with him in that. Which I already know signs like that, which he probably could have failed for. My son is one of those ones who, how can I explain it? It's times he has gotten better. I spoke on it, and I say he has gotten better. But he loves to be somewhere with his, on his knees with his butt poked up in the air. It should be a normal thing, but when you have a person with no self-control and is infatuated with people's bodies, they lose control, if that makes sense. And he reacted to it. I'm 1,000% sure of it. Because I had to get my son a few times, like, dude, get your butt out the air, dude. Like, I don't want him to ever feel bad like something's wrong with him, but I know that there is a pedophile in the building, okay? you have to fix that. And as much as I tried to protect, the people that I went to for protection didn't help. So it just got worse. Where the action actually happened. And the last time I spoke about it and I told the police about it, I still went to the goddamn jail. Because he called the police and told them I was being disrespectful. Like, what? You the one that's being disrespectful. You having sex with a whole damn minor, foolery. But I'm being disrespectful. Not the act that you gay, it's the fact that he's a child. And you taking advantage of that. That's why I told them the police, they a waste of time. Like, what type of foolery is this? But then I go back and I think about where I'm actually at. I'm in a very spiritual aspect, but when you deal with Catholics and you have priests that mess with young boys also, there's probably nothing that's going to get done. And that's what I told the police officer too. When he took me over there and he was writing some stuff down, probably what I was saying, I had to remind him, as I had to think about it myself, as to the priests mess with young boys. This is a real Catholic area too. So they probably think it's okay too. So it's like, where is the protection? It's a great question. Which I haven't heard nobody talking about that lately, honestly. For the simple fact, it's juice. I got some orange juice. I love orange juice, but it's not coffee. I've been drinking coffee, but not that much coffee. Because I know people, this cup is a fancy cup. I used to love and drink this type of stuff, but it's orange juice. What was I finna say? Told the police about that, Catholic people. Oh, About the priest messing with young boys, it's just like anything else. People, it's like it brought to people attention, then it disappeared. Probably because so much other stuff be going on. It's hard to stay on this one topic. But it's like, did that situation ever get handled, or what? Or just one of those ones we just sweep up under the rug, like it never got talked about, like it was never a problem. That happens a lot. That's really damaging. I mean, definitely when it comes to a guy, because I have realized there's no way to really identify if that's the situation. Definitely if they don't admit to it. Like a female, you got to bust us open unless you go from the back area. But usually there's some way where they can trace where if we've been sexually assaulted. But a guy, I realized, much as I took him to the doctors, they weren't able to identify if he was sexually assaulted. It pretty much was your word against mine, honestly, when it comes to a guy's sexual assault. And that's just crazy. Which is understandable why a lot of them don't speak up. But it's like, where's the proof at? And it's like, where God at then? He's the main big proof right there, unless he's been slacking on his job. Because what is he all seeing for? Like, what do y'all wire everything for? If you don't use it to help in a beneficial justice aspect, it doesn't make sense. And the privacy aspect is just like, how do you have privacy in his kingdom? It don't make sense. Unless God is a sucker in his own kingdom. It just don't make sense to me. I understand that there's other people in that aspect. Maybe he don't have the whole full, authority, which he should. But I only said it because I realized that he's stuck too also. But apparently he can get free at times. I just get to thinking about the Jesus aspect. Those are two I work off, honestly. I realize I call on Jesus 59 times a day. If you know me, and you would definitely be like, oh my God, you say it a lot. You speak of Jesus a lot. I really don't speak of God that much unless it's intercourse time. Um, then I definitely do mention God because it's a light and dark situation where He's supposed to be active at, but apparently slacking in. But Jesus' aspect is just like, this situation could be good if it was honesty in it. But it's not smooth sailing. And it's like, if it's not smooth sailing, then it's wrong. But it's a lack of honesty. You can't be protected if you're lying. If you're lying, that means something's wrong. It's like my son. He stutter. His stutter is because he's not honest. You can't have a parent like me and think you can stutter. I mean, think you can stutter. You can have a parent like me and think that you can make it seem like I'm gonna ever say something wrong and you just gonna speak clearly. No, it's a blockage. Because he lies and he make me think I'm crazy. So he get to stutter. But as soon as he's honest, it's gonna be clear. Which everybody will think that's crazy. Like, his stutter didn't come from that. Yes, it did. He didn't stutter like that before this activity took place. It wasn't like he was born. I know some people develop things later on, but his is because of that. I know what I'm dealing with. I'm trying to get other people to realize what I'm dealing with. I know what I'm dealing with. But as I said before, he's scared to speak up. Because Don said that he was going to goddamn shoot him if he did. And it's just like, Don ain't going to do nothing. Don is just scared of going to jail or being punished or something of that nature. He's not going to do nothing. You could be honest. It's definitely okay. I thought that I never really thought about it, but if I would have thought about it before I actually told him, like, my son is not yours, I probably wouldn't have told him. If I didn't know better, I probably wouldn't have told him. I would have realized that I made a mistake and left it like that. But I realized I had to go fix that. And then I got looked like I was crazy when I was honest. But it's just like, I didn't even have to tell you. That's the thing. And I still get everything. It's going to be the same aspect with him, except he's going to be clear. You can still get everything that you want, obviously. But some things just seem too good to be true, apparently. There's a lot of mistakes that happen in that doggone area, honestly. My son should have stopped sleeping in bed with him very soon. My son liked to sleep naked. It's a whole situation that just get to be just. I can go down a freaking checklist of just words. If I was there, it would have been a no, no, no. But nobody else spoke up about it. It's just like it was normal. Him washing my son up. No, don't wash him up. He can wash himself up. Even after a certain age, I stopped washing him up. Like certain people at certain ages, you have to stop touching them. In certain ways where it's like becomes a sexual situation. And all that just played out to where it led up to foolery happening. Where we have sexual intercourse now. I can't help but to laugh, but it's just like, this situation has been going on for so long and it could have been fixed so long ago. But when I actually went to go do the right thing, I got looked at as the problem and got sent back home. I'll go to pick up my child and the police bring me back home without my child and leave my child in the hands of the problem. And this was like, how many years ago was this? I don't know, maybe like 4 years ago. Maybe it's already 2022, 21, 22, 21, 2019. Yeah, I would say maybe 4 years ago, maybe 5. I'd say 5 at the max, maybe. That's a long time. But it's been going on way more than that. That's just when I got the police involved in it, because I realized I've made a mistake. But I've been wanting to do the court papers of us to separate. But me not knowing no better, my ex was like, let's just stay together. Try to make this work. That's why he made sure he went to court and got that shared parenting, because he knew I was ready to go, because it didn't make sense. He wanted it on paperwork where he has some type of a you not leaving me situation. Hey dude, what is wrong with you? You got your own kids from what I'm realizing. He got 2 daughters are freaking ready. One by my sister and one with his brother's girlfriend or fiance that he don't even take care of. But he harassing Misa. Like, what the world, yo? But be the first one to talk smack about somebody being a horrible parent because they don't take care of their kids. He allowed people to not do it. Even myself, he don't allow me to be a parent to my own child. I speak up for my child. He like, nobody talking to you. Like, nobody talking to you. You're not even an actual parent, dude. Like, what is this? I think that happened today, honestly. But it did happen today. Not so severe, but something was going on. They was playing on a video game. And I was telling my son, like, just go drop the gift off to, I don't know if to call it his cousin, because it's really not his cousin, but in the aspect, it's his cousin if we're using paperwork or whatever. But it's really, I don't know, just it could be his girlfriend or something. I'm not sure. But Lonnie, because it's really Donald's child, but his brother is taking care of the child. Um, but he wanted to go take a gift to Lonnie. Um, but since I guess I spoke up about it and Don really didn't want to go over there or whatever, I'm not honestly sure. I just was, however it go, to sum it up, because it's like so much that just to explain. Cause there's so many gaps in a situation where it's just like, what the world is going on? This is a dysfunctional situation out this world. What, and what? It's crazy. But I was just saying, go drop the gift off instead of staying for the doggone party. Don gonna get upset and say some foolery, and I'm just like, nobody's talking to you. And same thing with my son. My son, his defense level is intriguing. This is like, I'm trying to help you to go drop the gift off to the person that you want to. You upset with me. And then Don jumps in. I'm just like, you guys, their levels of defense is just, it's pointless. It all comes from hiding. That's it. If Don didn't do nothing wrong, he wouldn't have had a problem of taking that gift to her. And hence him, I don't know. My son, I really don't know. I think he just been brainwashed because he ain't been around me for so long, and he deal with people who say that I'm crazy all the freaking time, even though he know I'm not crazy. It's just he been around those people for a little hot minute. Then every time he see me and I'm trying to help him, I go to jail. So it makes what they saying to be accurate, and I'm the crazy one. It's like, then why you always going to jail then? Because I'm helping you. That's why. That's where I come to the point where, like, I have a lot of times I just say, am I just supposed to give him up? Like, seriously. Like, in a concept when it comes to God of giving your only child up, like, he would give me up instead of being with me, here with me. He's supposedly helping everybody, you know, the bigger picture, but it's like, he really not. Trust me, he's not. I'm not even getting help in this situation. It's like you watching people in pain and not doing nothing about it. Even though you got tons of things that can help. But people talk about privacy. Ain't no privacy. Definitely when you're doing something wrong. You should be happy that you have all these things that is available. Privacy. Right. Is there anything else that's in my mind? That all seemed like a lot. It is a lot. It's always a lot going on, but this situation is just wow. And the funny thing is, I'm the one that shouldn't even be stressed. Like, I'm personally on my own. If I'm speaking on my own time now for myself, I'm doing quite fabulous, honestly. Like, life is excelente. Honestly, it's just my surroundings. It's just like, what the what? Then some people, even the people that I'm speaking of, like, why are you here? Because my child. And apparently it's meant for me to do some work here. I'm meant to be in this circle of a situation because it's part of my work. That's one thing that I realized. Much as if I speak about, am I in the right place? I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. All my work always show I'm right where I'm supposed to be at anyway. It wasn't like I was just there for a reason. Like, I didn't come out with something. I came out with something for sure. I always do, wherever I'm at. It's just interesting to me. Because I'm thinking about that saying, keep coming across my head. I really don't want to say it out loud, but I'm going to say it anyway. Just because it goes back to what I was speaking about as into if I'm in the right place. Because it's like that saying, birds of a feather flock together. But it's like, I could flock with these birds because I feel like we reach the same destination because we are on the team of unaccepted for being ourselves. But these birds don't even admit to being birds. That's what I was saying. I was saying about my son. I wrote about that as into if you can't hear a bird clearly, it's because it's lying. Like, he's stuttering because he's lying. You're supposed to hear him clearly. Like, what the heck are you doing stuttering? How do I don't understand what you're saying? That's impossible. You're lying. It's the same aspect. But I know patience, time, everybody have their timing, but it seems like in this aspect is they're not going to. And it's like one of those ones where you can't save them. And then myself, I speak it out for simple fact that myself going and got pregnant. Intriguingly. And then my stomach want to go and get the rumbling. How intriguing. I'm not hungry. My stomach just apparently want to say hellos. But my stomach name is Sky. Her name is Sky. But that was actually a forceful of a situation. That was not consensual. Yes, I did tell him to come here, but I just wanted him to rub my feet and honestly suck my toes. Honestly, that's all I wanted. But this one just don't have no self-control. Like, you cannot force yourself on people, dude. Like, that's the weird part. Like, what is wrong with you? Then I was like, you know what? I need to see something. So I did play in it, as into, I said, what did I say to him? Yeah, they go, what I said. I think I said something in the aspect as to, you want me to be your baby so I can stay with you forever? And he was like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God, you are really getting turned on thinking that I'm your baby. Like, anybody who know me, I don't like being called baby because I always go to the aspect as to, you will have sex with a child. Like, don't call me baby because I know that you would mess with a child. And he really did. He got turned on by that. And it terrified me because it's like, this confirms that you messed with my son. You don't mind messing with young kids. And that's why I know I need to be a single parent because I don't know if I would be able to trust him around my child. That'd be foolish to let that happen twice. Or I can just get an abortion, but it's like, if I raise my child on my own, I can see the bigger picture as into what I'm already dealing with because I already know him and I know how to handle that better where it can be a truthful situation instead of hiding who my child naturally going to be, if that makes sense. Because he's gay. He's naturally have a gay gene in him. So there's a good chance that my child will come out gay, honestly. Definitely with the time of the year that it's at also. Because I've been speaking about same-sex relations, which is another reason why I was saying do not be sexually active at this moment. I did speak on that. Then I did another translation. I said it probably is a good time to be sexual because it's blooming time. You're gonna bloom, and I bloomed. Intriguingly, when I go back and I think about it. So that's why my mind is just like in a lot of places right now. But my child is already guiding. Like, I already get guidance from the divine realm already, but it's intensified because my child can guide me. Like, it's closer hands on. I have to start embracing, instead of saying child, Sky. My daughter is perfectos. She's literally me, which is teaching me more about myself, who I actually am, because anybody that knows me, I always say that I identify as a boy. That's why I understand my son a lot. I understand my son a lot more because I do operate more off his aspect. So to actually have a child that's a female is a little different for me. It's teaching me more about myself, and I realize myself is very outspoken. will let you know something. Like lately, like how can I explain that? I use a day as an example. I do it a lot, but when you're pregnant and you sense things, you have a child that's outspoken, they will let you know your breath stink. Go brush your teeth right now. It's that aspect. It's like one of those, geez, I just want to give you a hug, but your breath stink. It's that straightforward business. It's not meant to be hurtful, but it's like, you know that you just woke up and you know your breath stink. Why would you come that close to my face? I didn't do it, but they ain't been around me like that. My son is learning me because he didn't complain about it. He just went and brushed his teeth, which I was so happy by, honestly. But my ex, he do the same freaking thing. Like, he always have been that way. That was one of the reasons that turned me off of him, honestly. Like, I realized he don't ever brush his teeth or nothing. You just roll over and think you can kiss on me and stuff. But then I didn't speak up. It was just one of those things where that put me in depression mode, honestly. That's one of the things when I was in that basement I got depressed by. A lot of things happened there that I just was amazed by. But my child, on the other hand, oh no, ain't having it. Just ain't having it. So it's nice to learn that aspect about me because it's like I probably was the same way, but my parent didn't let me respond comfortably. My mother probably told me, "You're a child. Stay in a child place." You don't tell me about myself. I tell you about yourself. But I appreciate my child telling me, they don't have me just looking stupid. If you can help me, help me. That's the same way I operate with my son, but my son ain't been around me, so he don't really understand it. He has been trained to lie, so it's a different concept. We have time to work on it. I think about it like myself. Like, I didn't grow up with my father, my actual real father, but it's just like, even with me being 31 now, I still would love to meet him and get to know him if he even alive now. It'd be even better than when I was a child, because we can have open conversations, not none of that. I want to speak about it, but I feel guilty because you was a child. I'm a full blown adult now. We can have a good, honest conversation. I tried it with my mom, honestly. It didn't go so well. It turned into a physical altercation when it shouldn't have. My battery, like my phone about to die. But it turned into a physical altercation when it shouldn't have. I just wanted to actually get some guidance from her, some adult wisdom, like a straightforward conversation, without her having to sugarcoat. It's like me, I don't cuss really. You know, I really don't. I might say, I don't know. I don't want to say it right now because I feel like I just said I didn't cuss and then I say a cuss word, but I say little intriguing words sometimes. But I always say pardon me because it's just like it'll slip out sometimes. It's like a reaction, but I can fix it by saying pardon me. But it's like as an adult, I should be able to do that. Even though I don't do it, I should be able to do it without her feeling like you're a child. It's like I'm not a child. I should be able to express myself fully. But it wasn't about cussing. But my mom, what was it? I actually needed to stay with her for a little bit, honestly. But she acted like I was a total stranger. Like I never helped her a day in her life. She just totally pushed me away, and I needed help to get out of this situation that I'm still stuck in. Like I needed some adult wisdom, and I thought I could get it from my mother, but she wasn't having it. I was amazed, and it's like, can you put guilt to the side for a little bit and help me? It ain't even got to be financially. Just what has some things that you've been through? Tell me about how I was when I was a child, because I don't remember being a child, but I'm pretty sure it might be playing out now. Like I went for that type of guidance, and I couldn't even get it. So it's just like, I feel like even if I catch my son later where we have a better relationship, it will be better because he can be fully open. At least I would hope that's what he would want to do and be comfortable enough to do. I keep telling him that, but even with how I dealt with my mom, it just seemed too good to be true. Because so many other things have happened. But it's like, I can move past that. I want to move past that. So I'm hoping that the best is yet to come when it comes to that aspect. That I haven't really missed nothing. It's a blessing that I got to do my work, and then I catch you later when it's like the best part, you know. But it's kind of funny because the guy that taught me about numerology, he the same guy that told me like it was an age gap where it was like I was gonna be doing some parenting, and then the father jumps in and play a part at a certain age group. And I feel like that's what's actually happening. Like I was with my child, like literally hands on. I want to say all the way up till he was 5. So I was like 5 years with like nobody really touching him or nothing. It was just me and him getting to learn. But then for the longest, let me see, I say 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5. That's 5 and 5 right there. Honestly, I add that up. The other half, he wasn't with me. He just was with Don. But it's like Don really wasn't learning because his mom was doing it. And it's not knocking having help. It's the blessing that his mom was able to help. But it's not helping when you making the actual mother feel like she's a problem and sending him off to people who's not really even have his best interest at him, if that makes sense. I just don't get it. Definitely when it comes to my ex, because my ex is one of those real mama ones for sure. He loves his mom to death. Even though he lies to her, he comes off like he loves her. Um, why would you want, and he say he loves me also, like he comes off like he would do anything for me, and it don't matter. I use rides a lot, to me that's important. That's why I to an extent still deal with him, because like there's never been a time where I was not able to call him and he didn't show up. Except for one time, but it was a little different because I have a hard time sitting still sometimes. Definitely when I'm walking, it's like my legs is my own vehicle, so I get to moving. I'm not too good with sitting still, so I had him riding around in circles and he got upset. But other than that, he always come get me. um, so that is a real true blessing to me personally. um, Outside of anything else that he does, um, even though he is the reason why I lost my own car too, but people will say, that'd be kind of placing blame because, I didn't have insurance and all that type of stuff. But it's like, if I didn't have to go through this court situation, they wouldn't have been that much on me. I could have got away with doing it because I was doing God's work, okay? So I would have been good in that aspect. But the court and stuff got in it, and what got the court into it? Because I got into an altercation with Don's dad when I went to go pick up my child. I drove my car to his parents' house to go pick him up. But me and his dad got into a physical altercation because he attacked me like a football player. And then he got up and got a gun. Like, not only did you attack me, you stopped at the fight to run and get a gun. Like, what are you doing, sir? Like, you did not just open this door for me. Like, I just bust through the goddamn door and got the demanding stuff. I opened the door and I told you I was here to pick up my son. You asked me if I talked to Don. No, I didn't call Don for. I have a vehicle. I can come pick up my child. I didn't send my mom to go pick up my child. I came to pick up my child. Why did you tell Don for? And if Don come looking for him, you can say, Brittany came and picked him up already. His mom came and got him already. It's not a big deal. But I don't deal with those type of minded people. And apparently nobody else seemed to understand that. They just keep telling me to go back to court, but the court ain't doing nothing. Those clowns even thought it was funny. I walked in on them laughing at the situation. Like, it just amazed me. My caseworkers from Children's Service were laughing. They thought it was funny. I was like, this case ain't going nowhere. Like, I lose hope in the whole system. But they're laughing. It would make me walk in on them was for the simple fact of, they said it's going to give me a taxi because I didn't have a way to get back home. So I went to go see if she called for the taxi. I'm like, I know the taxi ain't just sitting out there. They get paid by the minute or something like that. So I know as long as I've been in court and ain't no telling when I'm going to be seen, they're not sitting out there that whole dang on time. So I'm like, I wonder if they called for the taxi for me. So I went to go see. And as me walking in there, then they're laughing. Talk about some, yeah, she got the stuttering when I asked who the child father was. And I'm just like, I really did not. I swear to God, I did not. I was clear about how I can personally find him, and I was on Facebook. And I told them his name and everything. Mazor Duggar. You can find him there. I know how to reach him there, or on this app that I had before, which was Tango, how we communicated. But I told them that. So it's like, why are you laughing, making it seem like I didn't tell you? And I did not stutter by it. They just thought it was so freaking funny. They wasn't getting a good little chuckle. I was like, wow. Y'all act like y'all ain't never heard nothing way more extreme than this. This should be just a little petty quick fix. That has been the most extended, I can't believe it situation ever. And I see why, because they think it's funny. They're not even fixing it, they think it's funny. And it's just like, they ain't got nothing to do besides lose their job and be in the same situation too, where they have to figure out how they're going to provide for their family. Then it's not funny no more. Not that I wish that, that happened to, because everybody can't deal with it the same way that I deal with certain situations. But when we have to put our whole faith in help like that and they laugh at it or just totally act like it's irrelevant, that's a problem. Cause it's like certain things I heard about before about dealing with children's service. I thought that was a joke. Like, yeah, right, they don't do stuff like that. But you have to actually experience it to understand it. Same thing with the judge. I always thought a judge was spiritual. No, I watched the whole room lie to him, and him not have not a clue. He had not a clue. I was amazed. Because they supposed to came here and did a check-in of the apartment to make sure everything was good. But they told me that they didn't come. Yeah, they really did come. But they told the judge that they didn't come. And he didn't have no clue. Like, how are you the judge? And you don't realize your people lying to you. That's weird. That's why I have a hard time showing up to court. It's like, this is a joke. This is an absolutely joke. If they're not spiritual based, I'm not showing up. Because they're not going to know what's true or not. And plus, they rely on the, what do you call them people? I think I'm dealing with one of those right now. They call it a pretrial, where like other people get to determine your faith. It's not even the judge that's doing it. It's some random people. And it's just like, what type of foolery is this? Those ones better be spiritual, and they ain't better ever did no crime either. Like, that is just crazy to me. But they're random, so I'm pretty sure that they have done some stuff. Or probably even do certain weird stuff. They might be gay too. They might be molesters too. Because they're random. It's a random pick. Like, I don't know if they just draw it out of a hat or what. But the system is just... as I started with this video, I don't know where the help really is at. I don't know. I want to say the system, but I'm not even sure of the whole system. But the ones that I have dealt with when it comes to the judge or children's service, where in my situation I need both of them to help, they don't help. They be totally lost or think it's funny or just irrelevant. But it's like, this is the generational aspect where the problem keep happening at. Just in this little topic of right now. The judge in dealing with children's service, they deal with kids. And they laugh at the situation. They laugh or just think it's irrelevant. Or I know that they're humans. They go home to problems. But it's like, somehow you have to figure out how to keep those two separated. Like, maybe they need to do mental evaluations also. A lot. More than what they do. Because that is a lot to take on and still function normal. Like, even with me dealing with everything I deal with, I would try, honestly. I just do. Thank God. But sometimes I really do got to try. To still function normally, but a lot of them can't. It's like, it's one of those sayings, hurt people hurt people. Like, they probably at home hurting, so they come to work laughing at people's situations. It make them feel better. And that's a problem. Because, like, how is anything getting fixed? A lot of trauma comes in childhood. And the people that's supposed to help in that area don't help. If anything, they make it worse, from my experience. And not alone of my experience, stories that I heard before my experience even came. They don't help. They rip families apart because they don't do their job properly. And a lot of them ain't even spiritual to realize signs that they should recognize when they're in a situation helping. When you would, like me, being in a situation and being spiritual, there be signs everywhere. I can tell you lying right from the jump by just looking around at things. Like, when I first said this about even my son not being Don's, or what's the example I can give? Why my son don't speak up about the situation with him and Don. If you just watch how those two interact, my son just don't naturally speak. He looks at Don and wait for Don then to respond. It's like one of those, you're not allowed to speak, I speak for you. That's why a lot of times when I'm talking to my son and Don responds, it's like, I'm not talking to you. Let him speak. Why can't he speak? Why he don't feel comfortable enough to speak? That's weird. Simple things like that. Like, why do you look at him for confirmation like you can't speak? And then, normally when I say that, Don get mad. That's where a natural argument come right out because of that. But it's like, I'm really not talking to you. Let him speak. He already have a hard time speaking. Like, he stuttered because he don't even speak that much on top of that. And then you making it worse by not even letting him speak. But it's like, if somebody else see that, they will understand that. Because he do it each time. It don't matter where he's at. He always do it. And for us, that's always leads to an argument. Because that irritates me. Like, let him speak. But they would come in here and look around and see everything all clean and neat. This ain't Don's doing. This is me. Don's a dirty one. He has nice material things, but he don't mind living dirty. It's like they don't recognize signs they really should pay attention to. And that one is simple. I come knock on the door, because I heard they even came here before. If that's true or not, I don't know. But Children's Service came here after me and Donald got into an altercation. And I'm not sure if my son was here, but even just talking, if you would ask my son something, you would realize he wouldn't enter. He will let Don respond. He will look dead at Don. Even if he do respond, he gonna look at Don first and then respond, or Don gonna respond for him. He's not just gonna respond without looking at him first. Is it guaranteed? I kind of want to do it right now. I don't feel like I feel like I'm a nitpick.
Hey.
How was the party?
There was no party.
Did she like her gift?
Yeah, she liked it.
You guess? Or you just dropped it off so you can get a chance to open it?
I'll give it to her. I'll watch her open it. And I say, are you happy? Yeah, I just want.
Yeah, she was happy. She said she was happy. Did you get any cake or anything?
Hmm?
Did you get any cake or anything?
What?
Did you get any cake or anything, sir?